Yo, what's going on? Yo, it's BX Juice. You already know I'm not a blood or a crip or none of that shit. I pop off regardless. I'm a Bronx kid, you heard? Welcome to Regular Real Shit Music TV. I'm your host, BX Juice, you heard? Yo, man, good morning. Yo, real quick, yo, this for everybody that's been tuning in to the show and all that and rocking with Regular Real Shit Music TV. You already know. I salute to all of y'all, you heard? It's a fact. Like, share, subscribe, you heard? I do this because I like doing it and because, I get to put content out there. You heard? So that's basically why I do this. I love doing it, and some music videos is coming soon too. But you know, but anyway, today I want to talk about jumped and they had guns. You heard? This is a situation I was in. You know what I'm saying? When I was a lot younger, I probably was like 22. I probably like 22 years old. Right, 22 ain't that's not old at all. That's still just coming out. Yeah, I think I went upstate by this time. Yeah, I was up north already by this time. I think I came back home by then. Um, so yeah, but I was a so-called tough guy. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Um, Back then, you know what I'm saying? So just thought I'd been through some shit and thought I was, you know, um, I think this probably was like 2001. It's around 2001, matter of fact. Yeah, I had just came home around that time. I think I had just came home the year before, 2000. I had just came home, and yes, because I had finished. I had to do the program. I finished that shit. The 90 days shit I had over there. I had got me a job, my first job ever. I was a messenger and shit like that. So yeah, it was around the time that I finished and all that. So yeah, it was like around 2001 because I already had went to the board and all that. I was in work release. I had to do work release, and I went 7-0 on work release. You heard? Yeah, that's when they let you spend your checks. They start letting you spend your money that you've been saving up before you could spend your money when you in work release. You have to bring it in, or you asked to go back up north. Straight up, if you you cash one of them checks, you heard? Even though it was yours, but it's for a good cause. You know what I'm saying? They helping you save your money for when you get out of that work release. So but you have to go through protocol. First it was 5 and 2. You know what I'm saying? You stay in 5 days, and then you go out to your family and go out. Go home for 2 days for the weekend, I guess. You know, and then you work your way down. Then it's 4 and 3. Next thing you know, now you home for 3 days, and you in there for 4 days. While you're in there, you still wearing fucking state clothes. While you in there, you got your real clothes with you, but you still wearing state clothes. Um, so yeah, work release and all that shit. You know what I'm saying? I had went 7-0 and all that. Was able to start spending my own checks. Now I'm home for 7 days. So I just had to return to a facility just to take urine and all that. You know what I'm saying? Then so from there I went to the board, and of course I'm doing good. So they're not gonna hit me at the board. They let me out. Of course I'm already home doing what I got to do. So of course I made the board. So yeah, that's how I remember that what time this was. Around that time, it was around that time I was out already. So I came out around that time, and I had met this girl. You know what I'm saying? I had met this girl, and I had plenty of chicks. You know what I'm saying? I did. At that, especially by the time I was 20, 22, I had plenty of chicks. I done did. I was really a nigga that just was dealing with girls. I wasn't on no girlfriend type shit at all, especially when during my teenage years and stuff like that. I did have one girlfriend at that time, but after that, once I hit 20, it was like, nah, I'm gonna be single. Da 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 da. Was it so? So I was, and I just came home. So I met this girl. You know what I'm saying? wound up dealing with her a lot. You know what I'm saying? I was younger. She was older than I was. So, she had her little job and shit like that. Working in the off track betting shit and with the horses and all that. So she had her little job and shit like that. She was doing her shit. You know what I'm saying? I can't lie. I was young, you know what I'm saying? I just came out of, like I said, workplace. So I had a little bit of something and I had a job. So I was alright. I had a little something, but she probably had a little more because she was older than I was and in a better position than I was. So yeah, I was started dealing with her. Of course, you young, so you know how that goes. They like the young men. So, yeah, so I met this girl, you know what I'm saying? I met her like, because at that time I was a messenger, so I was doing a lot of messenger work in Manhattan, 42nd Street, all that shit, running around there, 24th Street, all that messenger, you do all of that. 24th Street, 18th Street, 14th Street, you do all that. 42nd Street, you running back and forth from 7th Avenue, 5th Avenue to 10th Avenue. So as I was a messenger doing all that. So I was doing that. So I was running around a lot. I was happy too. You know what I'm saying? Because I had just came out really. So I was happy doing that. So that's what I was doing. That was one of my first jobs that I ever had in my life was a messenger job. Besides working when I was younger, doing stuff for neighbors and stuff like that. But real job on paper, the first job I ever had was a messenger job. Um, so like I said, man, I'm doing that. Running around there. I was meeting mad girls, but I met this one shorty. Like I said, she's older than me or whatever the case may be. She was from Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? She was from Brooklyn, and she still rap Queens too. You heard? But she was more or less from Brooklyn to me. Um, so yeah, we met. It was good then. Whatever the case may be. Doing what young niggas do. You know what I'm saying? You already know, tearing it down or whatever the case may be. All due respect to my woman. Shout out to the Chocolate Mary Poppins. You already know. Just telling my story. But yeah, doing what young niggas do. And so we was I had her on, I had her like I thought I had her. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what you think when you got girls buying you shit. Because that's what she ended up being like. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, she was good and all that, pretty and all that stuff. But she, I'm young, so she ended up buying me. Was buying me stuff like that. So I started learning those ropes right there. Where women want to buy you shit, but they also, you know, want to fuck you and shit like that. So, but they want to make sure they buy you shit too, because of course, because they like you most likely probably, but you also because you tearing it down. So, that's what I learned about that. So I'm dealing with Shorty, and this is what she was doing, and then and then me too. I didn't, after maybe a year or two. I was working, because now I'm home on parole, whatever the case may be. I wound up losing the job that I had not only that, I had to do programs and all that other shit too. Parole wanted me to do programs and all that. So I wound up losing the job, so I didn't have no job like that for a little while. And she was the one that was holding me down, buying me shit, doing this and that. You know what I'm saying? What older women be trying to do. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I'm young. I still want to dibble and dabble. You know what I'm saying? At first everything is all good in the beginning and all that shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Especially at that time, I didn't know really too much. I knew, but I didn't know better too much because I was young. So everything is good and everything is basically about sex all the time. So all right, whatever. And then so I'm learning them ropes that I see this girl's buying me shit all the time, and what I'm saying, we going out, she paying for shit. You know what I'm saying? So I'm thinking I'm getting a little big head. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking, oh, I got her on smash and whatever. Whatever. I did have it kind of on smash or whatever. She was buying me shit and stuff like that, and things was going all right for a little while, going to hotels and all kind of wild shit, whatever. Um, you know, and, you know, and we was chilling for a while. You know what I'm saying? I bring her, bring her over to my sisters, and them. You know what I'm saying? My sister Keisha was living in I think Keisha was living in Parkchester at that time. My sister Keisha was in Parkchester. God bless my sister Ann now, rest up, but she was alive then. She met with Ann, and they end up knowing each other from, I guess, forest projects or whatever the case may be. But she ended up knowing, I brought her around to my family, my side. Um, my sister wound up bringing her, you know, let me, I'm jumping. Like I said, she met my sister. I brought her around, so she was meeting people, whatever. So I was more or less going to my sister's house a lot at that time. I didn't have my own place. You know what I'm saying? I can admit that I didn't have my own place. I was still kind of young, and I was, like I said, coming out of jail. I didn't have my own place. I was still going to my sister's houses and shit like that. So I used to bring her over my sister's crib and shit like that. Yo, we gonna chill here, whatever the case may be. You know what I mean? And that's how she was meeting my sisters and stuff like that. So she ended up being around for a little while. You know what I'm saying? I ended up fucking with her for a little while. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, this whole time she was really buying me a lot of shit or whatever the case may be. Whatever. Um, you know, she didn't have a place to stay. She had money, but she didn't have a place to stay either. She was staying with her moms in Brooklyn and shit like that or whatever. So you know what I'm saying? She didn't really have no stable place to stay either. Um, um, it's crazy, man, because at that time I had stopped dealing with my ex shorty. Now she was the only girl that I was considering a girlfriend at that time when I was young like that. But that was from when we was like, you know what I'm saying, 15 and 16 and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? That's where me and that girl was together and stuff like that. And then, like I said, our families was connected. So, and Ann was connected. My sister Ann was dealing with her brother at that time and stuff like that. So that's how that connection stayed. Even though me and her wasn't dealing with each other no more. Her brother was my best friend, Rocky, and you know what I'm saying? So, um, so that's how that connection stayed. So through that connection, my sister wound up bringing this new girl that I'm dealing with. She wound up bringing her to my ex-girlfriend in them house and all that, bringing them on my block on 163rd and Sherman Avenue. You know what I'm saying? My sister wound up bringing this girl. Now I stopped dealing with my ex-girl. That's why she's my ex. I'm not dealing with her no more. You know what I'm saying? That it was fast forward because, like I said, I went to jail. And she was there for a minute when I was in jail. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't like what certain shit that I heard or whatever the case may be. So dealt with her for a little while longer, but it didn't last that long, and we wound up breaking up. That's how that happened, and I just moved on because I was just coming home or whatever. So I just moved on. So, but my sister Ann was dealing with her brother. I think they had Terrence by that time. You know what I'm saying? So the connection of that family was still there, even though I wasn't dealing with Shorty no more. So now Ann, my sister, she brings this new girl that I'm dealing with, down there to my ex-girl house. I was no longer going around there. I was doing my other shit. She bring this girl down there. Next thing I know, I hear people tell, my ex-girl like, "Damn, you brought your new girlfriend around this." I said, "Yo, I ain't bring nobody down there. You never see me bring nobody down there." I said, "Y'all, you better talk to your best friend." And ain't she the one that brought that girl down there? So that's how that happened. Like I said, I've been stopped dealing with Shorty a long time ago with Indra. So I've been moved on. So when Ann did that with my new Shorty, I didn't even know she did that. She brought that girl down there, whatever the case may be. That's how they started knowing the Shorty that I'm talking about. And so and do that, the next thing you know, my next thing you know, my oh next thing you know, this girl, she renting out a room from my ex girlfriend's uncle. Rest his soul, rest up to them. You know what I'm saying? She to his uncle, to her uncle. She started renting because he was in the hospital with. They started renting her a room in his place. My ex girl, so I'm like, how the you gotta? Now at this time, I'm on parole. This is like the beginning of my parole. You know what I'm saying? Just the beginning. I'm on parole for maybe like I was on parole for maybe a year or two. Then at that time, I was on parole. I had 5 years parole. So this is the beginning of my parole. So she rented a room. Then this nigga fits in his crib. I'm like, oh, this is what you call it crib. So I'm like, how you? That's crazy. So now I'm coming over there because I am dealing with Shorty. You know what I'm saying? But it's a little shaky right now because we've been chilling with each other now for about a year or two now. You know what I'm saying? So now it's like we see each other true colors or whatever the case may be. She how I am. I'm young. She just buying me shit, and I'm just still doing a little bit what I want to do, not really respecting her like that or whatever the case may be. It was respect there at the beginning, but I'm young, so I guess she older than I am, so she was in her feelings at certain times. So we started doing a lot of arguing then, and not fighting, but in each other's face a lot, and that was, and I was like I said, I was like 22 then. Um, so that started happening. So we over there, and I'm telling her like, yo, you rented a room out and over here, you wild and injured. You know what I'm saying? That's her uncle, out of my ex girl. Like, how did you bring you even down there? You know what I'm saying? So that was so we was there, whatever. Eventually we had to go. I think I had got. That's when I had got violated. I had got violated, and I had to do 60 days a shock program. Some shit called shock. It was in the Sprungs though. I had to be in the Sprungs. It was in the Sprungs at that time. At this time, the Sprungs was the it was not called shock. I forgot what it was called. But you had to do 60 days of that shit, and it was like boot camp type shit. But I was on the island, so I got violated. I had to go. I went there. I wound up getting that program, and I wound up doing 60 days. Boom. During that 60 days of me being locked up, this girl, she, like I said, she got out of there. We not staying there no more. So, and the reason why I had got violated is because my sister Ann, like I said, that was cool with this girl. I was at Ann house at that time, and my parole was there. Me and Ann ain't really get along too much like that. We got along, but not too much. You know what I'm saying? Um, I love my sister. I'm pretty sure she loved me. God bless her soul. Otherwise she wouldn't have me in her house. I went to all of my sister's houses. I've been to every last house they probably had except for one Ann had. But other than that, I've always been with my sisters. So I'm not going to act like they didn't love me. They had to love me some kind of way. All of us have our own differences. But at that time I was with Ann, and we wasn't really seeing eye to eye too much. So I was like leaving out, but I was on parole, and I had my clothes and stuff there at her house. And at that time, weed was illegal, so you couldn't smoke weed. I was smoking whatever, but and plus I also had a curfew. You know, so I think at 9 o'clock curfew I had to be in the house at 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock or some shit like that. And I wasn't. I was over there before she left that house. I was over there chilling, whatever. And I guess the parole officer came to Ann house to the house where I was staying and told was looking for me. My sister, being mad at me, I guess at that time, told him I wasn't staying there no more. I'm like, why would you do that? You know what I'm saying? Told him that though, whatever. My clothes is there. She still told the nigga I wasn't staying there no more because we had an argument or some shit like that. So I'm like, why would she do that? Boom. But she told him. So now I'm out past 10 o'clock, and and then I'm moving around, so I'm not knowing this is happening. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not doing the right thing. If I was following my curfew, then I would have been in the house, and I wouldn't even have to worry about that. I'd have been there when he came. But being that I'm not doing that and following what I'm supposed to, I don't know what's happened if he come in or whatever, and that's why that happened. You know what I'm saying? So he trying to call me. He couldn't call me, I guess. Couldn't get in contact with me. And then I'm not going over there because me and Ann really ain't speaking. So, now my day's coming up. Wednesday, I used to go see him every Wednesday. And so now the Wednesday is coming up. I gotta go to PO. You know what I'm saying? And I went, and that's when he violated me. Yo, I came to your house. Your sister said you wasn't living there no more. You didn't inform me that you wasn't living there. You wasn't gonna be staying there. It was past your curfew. You wasn't there. Da da da. Plus, he took my urine. My shit is dirty. Boom, violation right there. I got violated. That was my first violation I had ever gotten. I was on parole for 2 years then at that time. Boom, that's the first violation I ever got. So I got that violation, and that's when I went in, when I went to the Sprungs on the island. I was still chilling while I was with this chick. She was still in that household over there with, um, my ex girlfriend's uncle house. She was still there, but it was like towards the end. So now I guess she was ready to move out of there. She left out of there, whatever the case may be. But now I'm locked up. So she, we still together. We still together. So she's still coming to see me. I ain't gonna front. I don't know what type of chick this girl was. I don't know what she was doing while she was out there and I was in there. But she was coming to see me. She did make sure I have money and all that stuff on my books and all that stuff. So she did come, visits and all that. So I'm not gonna act like she wasn't. I had a little graduation ceremony in the place when I made it out to 60 days, and she came. You know what I'm saying? Made sure I had my all blue and white velour Pele suit on and all that. My uptowns, and I was fresh. She made sure I was good, so she was there for that time. I ain't gonna front. Um, and on top of that, she had got us her, but she said us. Oh, I got us a crib. She had got us a room. I ain't gonna lie, she had a room. By the time I got out, I had somewhere to go to, and I had the room to go to. Um, Boom, went to the room or whatever. I'm out now. You know what I'm saying? Now I got like 3 years of parole left. You see what I'm saying? So I'm out now, go to the room. We chilling in the room for a little while. It was alright over there for a minute. But now we like basically me and her's like on shaky grounds now. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh whatever. I don't really this chick, I don't really whatever. She buy me shit or whatever. She probably feeling the same way too. You know what I'm saying? Like this nigga don't respect me or whatever. I don't know. But that's what was happening. You know what I mean? And so we doing that. She did come to the graduation. I graduated. Whatever out of that place, I came out. Like I said, she had the room. Boom. We was chilling in the room for a little while. Chilling. We chilling, getting along a little bit. Whatever. Only because we still together. So now, after being in that room, we probably stood in that room for like maybe 3 months, probably 2, 3 months. We probably stood in that room. And then me and her got into it. You know what I'm saying? Because it was basically over now. You know what I'm saying? It's to come into the end. We was already dealing with each other for like 2 years. You know what I'm saying? So it's basically coming to the end or whatever the case may be. So, but we still fucking and still fucking with each other and shit like that. So, you know, with all respect to my chocolate Mary Poppins, you heard, but we still doing that. So now, I'm out of the room. No, matter of fact, that's not what happened. That's not what happened. What happened is this. Because she had wound up getting a car and all kind of shit. She had got a car, picked me up, yo, come on, we got a car now, all that shit. She was driving. I remember. I jumped a little bit, but this I remember. So yeah, she was driving, whatever, whatnot, da 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 da. After and after I got out, and this is still after I got out though. So she was driving and all that, had a little car and this, that, and the third. So that's why that's why in between, I started staying in Parkchester with my sister and shit like that. And plus, both of my sisters was living in Parkchester because Ann had moved from over there in Rhinelander, and she had a place started. Her and Eric had a place over here in Parkchester, and my sister Keisha already was in Parkchester. Plus, my brother Kay was in Parkchester too. You know what I'm saying? So I was running around in Parkchester for a while. Um, and then that's when, because we left the, yeah, she had the car, whatnot. And then after that, that's when, but we ain't have nowhere to go really to go chill. We was doing the hotel thing and all that, whatever, but we wasn't doing that too much. So then she wanted me to, I'm gonna come pick you up. I want to come see you, this, that, and the third. That's how she started coming to Parkchester. I'm like, all right, I ain't see her in a little minute. Like, whatever. We connected back again or whatever. Now she wanted me to go. She had a little crib. Her aunt or something like that had a little crib over there in the Bronx up there. You know what I'm saying? On the concourse, not too far from my block, not too far from my hood. We right in my hood. This is why. Listen, but right there, her people's had a little apartment right there, and it's like almost going towards like it's on the concourse and like in the back of the concourse village. It's like, but on the concourse side, you know how you going towards 149th Street. If you was going down that way, going on the concourse though, she had it was apartment, one of them apartment buildings right there on the concourse. You can walk by. And so her peoples is living in there. So she wanted me to come over there. And yo, why don't you come stay with me? I want you to come chill with me. Why don't you come chill with me? Da 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 da. This, that, and the third. So I'm like, all right. Matter of fact, she ain't have the whip. She had the whip a while ago. She ain't have the whip this time. She had the whip a while ago. But she like, yo, we meet up. Yo, I want to meet up with you. Da da da. So we meet up or whatever. She be in the cab. That's what. Right. That's how I know she didn't have the car no more. We in the cab. So we meet up. This is like 2022. I mean, this is like my bad, y'all. This is like 2002. So I'm like, okay, we meet up. Maybe 2003, maybe the middle of 2003. We meet up or whatever the case may be. I'm chilling with her. We go through 183rd and T-Bow. We go through there. You know, everybody know what time it is. Shout out to everybody on 183rd. Is the word you heard? What's the word? 183rd, you heard? So yeah, so you know it's no joke over there. It's the Bronx, you know what I'm saying? So we go through there in the cab. Because she like, yo, I gotta make a stop real quick. I want to get some keys or whatever. I don't know. Now that I'm telling the story, y'all tell me at the end. But so boom, we go through 183rd and T-Bout, whatever. I'm in the cab. We in the cab. She stopped in front of the building, and these niggas, you know, these niggas come up to the cab, and I guess once they noticed it was her, they come up to the cab, and they like, talking to her, yo, what up, Keys? Whatever the case may be. I think she jumped out the cab for something to go get something, the keys or whatever she wanted to go get or whatever. Because she kept telling me, I'm getting ready to get the keys to this place, whatever. And so she jumps out, whatever. She didn't take too long. She jumped out. Got back in the cab, and the niggas was on the cab talking to her. Oh, what's good? And, saying what's good to me. So I said, what? I wasn't too much of the type of nigga to be giving niggas fives that I don't know. But they was like, yo, what's good, my nigga? What's good, son? Or whatever. I'm like, yo, what up, like that. You know what I'm saying? I was one of them niggas anyway. I wasn't too friendly and shit like that. Because I didn't like the fact that she even pulled around here with some niggas in the front of the building, walking up to the cab like that. So I'm like, you know what, whatever though. I'm in the cab, whatever. So she get back in the cab, they doing that. I'm like, yeah, all right, what's good, y'all? What up, whatever. I'm like, what up? So now we skates off. We leave in the cab. We go to the concourse where her peoples is at. Like I said, her peoples got a building, a place up there. So we go to the concourse. We go up there. At this time, yeah, we go up there. I see the building. We go in the building. We go upstairs. She got one of her people's nieces up there. I think she was a young girl, maybe like 13 or something like that. But she's up there, so I don't know. I'm thinking this is a spot that you know is just gonna be me and her. Like ain't nobody else. We chilling. You got the spot on your people's crib, but I ain't know it was gonna be. She ain't mentioned no other little girl was gonna be up there. Nothing. She just said she got the keys to a spot. That's it. I'm like, all right, bet. And this is, you know what I mean. So I go up there. We chilling or whatever. That time, Nas dropped Ether was out. Ether was killing shit, and we was listening to that. I remember. And plus, you can't remember. You ain't gonna forget no ass whipping, especially when it came like that. Like I said, we got jumped and they had guns. So boom, we in there. I'm chilling. A day or two go by. We chilling for a day, 2 days go by, and we still chilling up in there. But I'm going. My block is right there. I ain't too far from my block. This is why I don't play games, cause I'm in my hood. So boom. So like I said, I ain't too far from my hood, too far from my block. So so I ain't too far from my hood, too far from my block. Excuse me, y'all. But so I go to the block every now and then, grab some smoke or whatever, grab some weed. You know what I'm saying? Let's get some ketchup for me, baby, please. Grab some weed. You know what I'm saying? Grabbed my bike. I had a bike, so I grabbed the bike because I didn't want to be walking. At this time, I had no car, nothing like that. So I was still on bikes if I could. Grab the bike, roll back up there, riding back and forth, getting some weed if we needed, whatever, because we was up there for like a day and a half. Boom. So now I come back, I got the bike with me. So boom, I bring it upstairs or whatever. So now it's like 2 days we chilling. Now I noticed the little girl is there. I'm like, well, but I didn't notice she was there at first. I didn't even know she was there. So yeah, the bathroom is right there across from the room. So I would just run out real quick in my boxes and go across and go to use the bathroom real quick and come back in the room. I didn't know nobody was there. I thought it was just us. So you know, like I said, 2 days done passed by. We in there. I'm listening to Ether. We chilling, whatever. Now I see that the little girl is there. She like 13 years old. I'm like, oh shit, I didn't even know somebody was here. Why you didn't tell me? So boom, we chilling, chilling, chilling. I'm about to go up. Unless you want to eat first. So go ahead, eat first then. So we chilling, chilling, chilling. Put salt on it. Can you give me some salt? Sorry. Get the salt, please. So we chilling, you know what I'm saying? And next thing you know, we chilling in the room talking, talking, talking. No, she had got a call. Boom, and I heard her say something like, "Oh, what? He ain't. My man is such and such, or whatever she was saying. My man ain't do that. My man ain't doing nothing, or whatever she was saying." So I'm like, "Yo, who you talking to?" You know what I'm saying, like that. And I'm hearing it sound like it's gonna be a problem. So I'm like, "Who you talking to?" And she like, "Oh no, it's nothing. That's nothing." I'm like, "It's nothing. You better let me know so I can know what's going on." "Oh no, it's nothing. This, that, and the third." And like I said, at that time I was young, acting a lot, doing a lot of that, fronting. You know what I'm saying, and not understanding where I'm. It's the street. I'm just getting into. Even though I've been to jail or whatever, but still not in those. This is a different type of situation for me with a woman, with a girl. That's my first type of situation like that. So, like I said, asking her what's going on, who she talking to, yo, listen, stop playing games, because I don't know, whatever. Do I gotta call my peoples, let me know? You know what I'm saying? Whatever. Oh, no, you good, nothing like that, ain't nothing like that. No. So now we chilling. Next thing you know, out of nowhere, I ain't hear no knock on no door, no nothing. All I hear is these dudes come in. It's like 3 of them. Now, I ain't hear nobody. Then I ain't hear it till the last minute. Then I heard some, like, who the fuck, somebody just came in? And she like, yo, I don't know. She got up, whatever. As soon as she opened the door, them niggas was standing right there. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, yo, because this is why I didn't, this is what made me transitions from playing around and understanding, the real shit. So I see them niggas standing there, so I'm like, all right, it's just 3 niggas, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'm ready to fight and shit like that. If it gotta be that, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm just thinking it's gonna be a fight. So I'm like, yo, whatever. If that's the case, we gonna fight. I don't mind. I've been jumped. No, I never been jumped, but I'm like, yo, fuck it, we gonna fight. Fuck it, I'm gonna fight though. So boom, yo, we hear you walking around in here in your boxes. I'm like, yo, what? You don't see me? I said, you ever see me walking? Now the little girl comes out. Yeah, I see him doing it. And I'm like, what? You see me? I said, I never walked around in here in my boxes. I said, yeah, I admit I probably ran because the bathroom is right there. I just went to the bathroom real quick and came back in. But at that time, I didn't know this little girl was here. And then boom, so, next thing you know, they didn't want to hear that. Just hit me. Boom. I fall on the floor. Trying to this now. I'm getting up to fight back. But as soon as I got up, that's when they pulled the gun out. I was like, oh shit, they got a fucking gun. Now it's whole shit changed for me. Because remember, I'm like 22 years old. I ain't never been in no gun situation or nothing like that. Or even with a no girl situation. This is my first situation for all that. So they've had the gun. Then not one of them, then both of them niggas pulled out a gun. I was like, oh shit, both of these niggas got guns? I'm like, bro, was trying to hit me, but I was using her to shield myself. They was hitting her. Boom. Facts, son. Boom. Because I don't know what's going on, so you going to take some of this. Boom. It didn't last for too long. I could say that, but I didn't fight back no more. Once I seen they had guns, I just was left it alone like that. So they was trying to jump me, or whatever the case may be, and then they stopped, let me. I got up, and then they were just like, "Yo, man, just leave out of here, yo." And these dudes are from Brooklyn. They're not even from the Bronx, and I'm in the Bronx, my own hometown. This is why I don't play games. So boom. So they let me I got up, whatever, after they did what they did. They didn't shoot me or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? We went through it. Boom. Then they left. You know what I'm saying? Um yeah, I was too distraught. I was ready to I was just my adrenaline was going to for me to even say anything to her. You know what I'm saying? I just wanted to get out of there. I was actually mad. I wanted to go call my people. I wanted to go to the block real quick. You know how that go. So you know what I'm saying, but I didn't know I'm in this building. But even though I know where I'm at, I'm on the concourse. I'm like I'm right in my fucking hood. This how I know shit can happen anywhere. So boom, you know what I'm saying. I come out with the bike. I come out the house. I get out the house. So now, she coming out the house with me. So she looking around in the hallway to see if they up in the stairs or anything like that. Cause I guess she know how they get down. They from Brooklyn. So boom, nobody was there. I was able to get in the elevator, whatever. I don't think I got in the elevator. I just went down the stairs with the bike. Boom, got out the building. I got out. That was it. I rode down the block. You know what I'm saying? She came with me, whatever. And I got out, got back. And that's what had happened. You know what I'm saying? And that's the first time I ever got jumped, you know what I'm saying? And they had guns. You know what I'm saying? When people can say what they want, if a motherfucker got a gun on you, two guns at that, man, I don't think you're gonna do no. People will take a chance. Some people take a chance to fight back, but a lot of those people get shot. You see what I'm saying? Um, 9 times out of 10, if niggas pull guns on you and you ain't got no gun, I think you just better be as easy as you can. Um, that bothered me for a little while. I even made a song called "It's My Turn." Um, that bothered me for a little while. For a couple of years, that bothered me. I never. The funny shit is too, right? The funny shit is later on that night, like later on, I think the next night, I went around Burnside. I went around Burnside around my aunt and my cousins, all of they way over there. My father them over there, Davidson and all that. I went around there to go get some weed after that happened. And I see it, and guess what? I come off the block, I see the niggas that just did that. They ain't noticed me. You see what I'm saying? But at that time, I wasn't on no street shit. I wasn't on no grab the hammer shit, go do this and do that. You know what I'm saying? I was on some call my people type shit. But I seen them, and they ain't even noticed me. I even asked them niggas, yo, who got the weed? And they pointed at the girl, like, yo, she got it right there, man. And they ain't even noticed it was me, and I just seen it. I'm like, yo, these niggas right here. You see what I'm saying? I ain't do nothing. I ain't do nothing. But that bothered me for a lot of years, man. But what I finally, what that did do for me though, right? Because like I said, at that time I was doing a lot of fronting and a lot of playing around and stuff like that. I'll fight and all that other stuff, and yeah, but to know if you in the street or not, you got to know if you in the street or not, and what you willing to do and what you won't do, and if you a gangster like that, if you not. Um, that situation it bothered me for a couple of years, but as the time went on, and I thought about that and kept thinking about that and stuff like that, I said, yo, you know what, yo, that situation, they actually helped me, even though it wasn't a good situation for me then, but it helped me a lot. And I didn't hold no grudges after that. I don't even think about them no more, whatever. I don't want no revenge. I never, I made a song, but as far as that, that's it. And because the what came out, what I got from that was, yo, that let me know right then and there, yo, Julius, is either you gonna be fucking real or you not. All this talking about what you will do and da 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 da. It's either you gonna be real. That's what that being jumped and they had guns. That's what that shit taught me. This was years ago. You know what I'm saying? I never wanted no revenge, and I don't want revenge now. That's why I'm able to talk about it. You know what I mean? that's what it taught me. Yeah, should have told you to put some mayonnaise. But that's what it taught me. Is either you gonna be real or you ain't gonna be real. That's it. Ain't no half stepping. Ain't no playing. You know what I'm saying? Stop bullshit. Julius, if you gonna be real or you gonna be fake. Which one you gonna be? Cause this ain't no game right here. You see what just happened, and that taught me right then and there. I knew I was gonna be real from there on out. I ain't gonna play no games with people and none of that. You know what I'm saying? I know it can happen. You see what I'm saying? Cause it happened to me. You already know, yo. I don't know. Maybe it sounded like a setup. I don't know if she set me up or not. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. We was going through a lot of problems. I probably, doing a lot of stupid shit that I wasn't, being young and shit like that. Real dumb shit on her part. She buying me clothes and shit like that. I'm taking pictures in the clothes with other girls and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? She finding pictures and see me posting up with Shorty and I got on the shit she just brought me. So maybe that part, I didn't think about that till now. So maybe all that, maybe she did set me up. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe she didn't. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But that was my story right there. You already know it's BX Juice. It's regular real shit. I'm not a blood or a crip. I pop off regardless. I'm a Bronx kid. You heard? Um, y'all already know. Shout out to the Chocolate Mary Poppins. You already know. Shout out to the whole Bronx. Shout out to the whole NYC. Shout out to Connecticut. And shout out to everybody. You heard? It's BX Juice. You already know. Wow.